Welcome back, family, friends, and fans. If you want to see how I made this mattress using a paper towel and interfacing, and if you want to also see how I made the second option mattress using packaging foam and interfacing for your 1 inch equals a foot dollhouse, please continue watching. Okay, so we're gonna get started with the paper towel. I chose Bounty because it's nice and strong. I also have a filter that I found lying around the house. I have no idea what it's for, probably for the AC. And this is the size of my bed, which is about 5.5 and 6.5. 5.5 by 6.5. I'm measuring 1 inch from every side with the Bounty sheet, just making sure that each side has 1 inch all around, and I'm going to cut that out. Now I'm just going to confirm that all sides are 1 inch all across the board, and then I'm going to mark it with my pencil. Next, cut your filter or whatever you're using that's spongy, and you are going to cut it to the size of your bed frame. It is a good idea to plan this out thoroughly, so you will need your bed frame first before you do the mattress. And since I marked it on the right side of the Bounty sheet, I kind of have to guess where the sponge is so that I can, because I want the sponge underneath the right side. So the right side of the Bounty sheet is facing up, and I want the sponge underneath that. So I'm just going to pin it and make sure it's catching every corner. And that's how I will secure the filter with the Bounty sheet. I'm gonna speed through a lot of this process just to kind of get you guys through this video quick enough. I rounded out these corners, but it was completely unnecessary, and you'll see why later. And I also made lines on I didn't even measure them. I made some small lines going diagonal and then crossing that diagonal. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Eso está que lo menee, está caliente. ¿Cómo sabe?
Delicious. My mom brought me an oatmeal drink, and it was delicious. So I did the lines to follow on the sewing machine, and I'm going to be using stitch number 28 to do the wavy lines. I wanted to make it appear as much as I could like a mattress. And I like the material of the Bounty sheet. It's just like, it's not soft, but it's very squishy. And like, once it has like a foamy kind of thing, like a sponge underneath it, it's very like satisfyingly squishy with the wavy lines and everything. I don't know. Either way, aesthetically, I just thought it was really a perfect thing. And look how sturdy this, how strong and sturdy the Bounty sheets are. Not tearing at all. And so I just went down all the lines, and eventually I am going to also go across. I'm going to speed this up so that you guys can see what that ends up looking like. not too shabby. I do have to take out all the extra, not all of them, but I want to take out most of the extra thread that's like, not necessarily this one that I'm touching, but the one on the top side of what would be the mattress. I kind of want to clean all of that up. So this is the stitch that I used, and you can make the length a lot longer. Okay, I think we're ready to start getting things going here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my interface, which is the other material that I'm going to join with the Bounty, because I don't want the mattress to be only made of a Bounty sheet. That's not gonna be a good idea. And I wouldn't recommend this kind of mattress for a dollhouse that is going to be played by a child, since they're probably going to destroy the Bounty sheet. This is for someone who is taking care of their dollhouse, they're collectors, or they have a lot of attention to detail and they're very delicate with the dollhouse. So here I put the edge of I folded the edge of the interface and I put it right on the edge that we had drawn with our pencil. And now I'm just clipping that side, and we're going to stitch right down the line that we drew with the pencil initially on our Bounty sheet. And there, it's already stitched. And now there's an easier way to do this. I can assure you that there is. I was trying to keep that 1-inch thickness all across the board, and I really wasn't able to, just because of the way that I decided to fold this up to sew. So I think I made it a little more difficult than I needed to. If you guys have any suggestions, I am still learning about sewing and all of that stuff. I'm used to more using my my hand needle and glue and not glue. So yes, it was a little bit tricky, but what I did was I folded the corners in, and then I brought the other side of the interfacing. I wish I would have, for that 1 extra inch, I wish I would have just put like cardboard on there just to keep the and just done it with hot glue. And I think that's probably the goal. But anyway, now what I did was folded in at about 1/4 of an inch the edge of that part of the interfacing, and then I'm going to put it right on the line that we originally drew. We're working with that line so we can keep our parameters exact. And then we're going to sew this line down with our sewing machine, or your hand needle, or your glue. So now we've got that done. Now we're going to do this side. We're going to sew right down here. That's done. And now that the 3 sides are done. Oh wait, are they? Oh no, 2 sides were done. Now we're going to sew this last side, doing the same thing. And we're going to sew it on our sewing machine in this case. It does get tricky, but I was able to do it. It's not going to be as neat as you wanted it. Now we're going to stuff with our fiberfill or polyfill, whatever you have. I'm folding in at about a 1/4 of an inch with the interfacing, and I'm going to sew that down on my sewing machine. Okay, so there's a lot of cleaning up that I have to do. But this is I have to just cut off all the thread, but I just wanted to show you guys before I make any mistakes, because you are gonna need a small like small scissors to cut these threads out if you kind of like use your sewing machine and you're consecutively going across and you're not cutting the thread, like right here, like in the middle. You just have to be careful, because with a big scissor you can legitimately cut the bounty sheet, and the bounty sheet has already gone through so much and it's still intact. I feel really, really good about this, but I'll tell you, it is 6¼ inches long and about 5½ inches wide. So this is looking like a queen size bed for your doll, and it feels so good. You guys cannot imagine. So this is gonna be, I'm not gonna make it part 1, part 2, part 3, but what we're gonna do is a very, very luxurious bed that would go in a very, very luxurious room. So I started with the mattress, and the reason why I used a paper towel was so that you guys can all use materials that are accessible. There's going to be pillows coming, fitted sheets, regular sheets, curtains, duvets, and also a tufted headboard. So all of that is coming up soon. I just want to start using my sewing machine as much as I can. Now that we got this mattress down, I want to show you guys how to do a second option. So this is a 2-for-1, guys. A second option for your mattress, for your dollhouse. But I really like the way that this one turned out. I mean, the bounty sheet really, really stood the test of time, and I did not apply anything to it. It is as it is. And you don't have to do those dots on your machine if you don't want to, or even with a sewing needle if you don't want to. You can just leave it as is to really show off all the waves that you did on your sewing machine. Super comfy, super plush. I want to lay down on it. So again, I've got the base of the bed, and I'm using this packaging foam. It's about 1/2 inch thick, and I am going to combine 2 pieces so that I can make a mattress. I'm just going to cut it evenly to size, clip it down, clip another piece down, and cut it. Now, just because you marked it doesn't mean that it's always accurate. As you can see, I drew that line all wrong, but I kept my scissors straight, and that's how I knew it was off. Now we're just going to join these 2 together with my hot glue gun. I just want to make sure that I'm joining together the right pieces. I feel pretty good about that. Okay, great. Now we're going to take our interfacing back out, and we're going to use it to cover the mattress. And I'm just going to cover it completely, treat it like a gift, and just like wrap it up. I wish that I would have done it a little bit more snug. Instead, mine came out a little bit loose, but I used my hot glue gun and this is what I got. Now I'm going to grab this ribbon and I'm going to use it to make piping for the edges of the mattress, and I'll show you as we go. The first thing I want to just make sure I measure the mattress all the way across so that I know how much I need. Just in case my calculations were off, I always like to cut a little bit extra so that I'm not short at the end. Okay, let's take out our interface again with our ribbon and we're going to measure. That's how much ribbon we need, so that's how much interface we're going to need to match it. Now, I just want to make sure that if I'm going to cut this strip to make the piping, I want to make sure that I'm cutting at approximately 1¼ inches wide. So we're going to place the ribbon right in the middle of the interfacing material, and I would just close the material right on it and clip it or pin it in place. And then we're going to take that whole strip and just space it out and clip it so that it's easier when you get to the machine, and I'll show you where you're going to need to sew it down. You're going to sew as close to the piping as possible. I left 1/4 inch seam allowance on the bottom, and meaning from the piping to the end of this sheet at the bottom, there's 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I think I need to use the zipper presser foot to get really close to the piping. We're gonna sew. Sorry that I'm showing you on a different angle here, but we're gonna sew all the way down as close to the piping as possible. When we get to the corner, we're gonna bring this around the corner. We may have to cut some slits here to help the corners turn. And I'll show you what that looks like. And This will help you be able to turn. I can even cut this one here. Then you'll be able to turn this corner a lot easier. And we're going to sew this all the way around. Here is your eye presser foot. The heck? I don't know. Does it even fit? Oh. With this presser foot, you have to make a decision about what side you want to land your the presser foot holder on. So it's either this side or this side. But because my piping is on the right, I'm gonna choose the left. I'm sorry, I'm gonna choose the right. You can also turn your project around if you prefer to work on a specific side of the presser foot, and you can work this way as well. So I have my presser foot on I'm using the right side, and my piping is on the right side. I'm sure this corner is going to be tricky, but we just gotta do it. Oh no. It's not bad. Now, sew all the way as close to the piping as possible. Leave an opening so that you can leave an opening in the middle so that you can turn this out. This is the opening that I left. I sewed all around as best as I could, all around the piping. Let's go to our opening. Where is my tool? I like to get my chopstick and turn these corners out. And this is always like nerve-wracking because I'm like, oh my god, what mistake did I do now? But then it's exciting at the same time. It's not perfect, guys. I would love to give you guys perfection. I sure would. But this is my journey. My journey of sewing has been with you guys. And so you've seen all the mistakes, all of the raw things. You've seen it all. This one looks like it's not even. It's going up a little bit. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, I am going to stuff this with a little stuffing. This blatant slant unevenness is definitely bothering me. I may want to tuck this in some before I go any further. So I think I'm gonna do that. All right, I tried. It's fine. So I don't have a lot of this polyfiber fill, and I can't waste the little that I have because I need it for another project. So I'm going to use this filter. I have no idea what kind of filter it is. I'll show you what the package looks like. So I think I'm gonna shove this in here. I'm just gonna measure it. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why we need to stuff this in here. It's all gonna make sense soon, I promise. So I put it in folded, and then I'm going to open it up once it's inside. I'm gonna slide it all the way to one side. And then I'm going to, if I could find, oh, there it is. And then I'm gonna open it hold one side with this left hand and then spread out the right side with my right hand. It's because you can see it's not on this corner here. So I am going to, I could use a pin, but I'm going to put the corner all the way into the corner there. As far into the corner as possible. And then I'm going to pin it down. And I guess that's a good idea. Just focus on the corners. Make sure every corner is justified into its respective corner. Come on, bro. There's a little bit over here of, I don't want too much of that because I want to be able to envelop this and then sew. So I'm going to sew this opening down. The mess that I have on this desk is actually pretty insane. Well, now I'm using the left side of the presser foot, so I'm just gonna turn it this way. So these are the lines that I got. Now I'm going to go across on the machine. Remember, it's stitch 28. So it came out a little smaller, obviously, than what we originally had because I didn't really cut it as big as I should have. But I am just going to stretch it out as much as I can using my hot glue gun. So this is the top of the mattress pad. This is going to be the bottom to give us thickness. And I am just going to do corner by corner. And I'm not going to put it all the way in at the edge. So I'm gonna got that corner. And you don't want to go by this because this is like okay. Now I'm going to take the middle. Later on, I'll fill in the gaps, but I just want to be able to stretch this out without any problems. I'm sure you guys will figure it out, and you'll figure out how to make this so that it comes out a lot more even than mine did. And you can fill in these gaps with more of the hot glue later. And I'm just gonna go in. Oh, this came out. I'm gonna go in here. I think I can afford to. I then continue to apply the hot glue on the rest of the edges. In my opinion, I can still afford to tuck in the excess interface on the foam at the bottom because it's very loose and it might even out with the piping. So that's it, guys. I want to know which one you guys like better, this one or the first one. You can use tons of materials. I just like to use recycled materials as much as I can, and that's why I used the paper towel and I used here the packaging foam. The paper towel one was a lot of fun, and although it may not be as durable, it is a lot more plush, and it's got a lot of imperfections as well, but it's just a lot more plush. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial to make your doll's bed nice and comfy. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will definitely catch you guys on the next one. Peace.